Hi everyone, Brian, Bear Bull Traders. Wednesday, November 18th in the evening. Hope everyone had a good day. And so let's just go over where we are this week so far. And you can see here from the first chart we're looking at, the transports. Again, we had what looked like was going to be a strong day. And then as the day went on and some news came out about some closures, some school closures in, I believe it was New York, and more concerns about the impact of the virus is going to have in the short term. We ended up selling off, and we sold off pretty hard into the close here. You can see here we went out on the transports pretty close to the low of the day after we'd pushed up significantly higher, making a new high here. So it's a big fight between people looking ahead and looking past the time where we all get a vaccine, and the short term where we're looking like we're going to have to hunker down again. So transports again, maybe we're going to have another down day tomorrow, I think. Look at the RSI rolling over. We sold off on a bit of volume after this yesterday's candle. We pushed a new high, was a little bit lower volume. So stochastics do look like they're maybe rolling over here. So maybe a bit more downside. Do I see a big sell-off? Nope. But maybe a bit of a pullback here. And I think that's going to kind of be the theme. So after surging up here, we've been pulling back on the yield. I think the yield was down a little more today, which means bonds were up. But you can still see we're still entrenched in a uptrend, and so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on the yield as we come back here to this 20 moving average and see if we bounce. We seem to be curling up a little bit on the RSI. Stochastic still above 50, so keep an eye on that for the rest of the week, as it'll have an impact. Obviously, if it starts to sink further, financials will probably get sold off with yields dropping again. So again, the Dow, you can see a big sell-off on the day after we pushed and closed. We are closing right at some all-time highs here. RSI looks like it's put in a bit of a double top here, so I think we're going to maybe head back down to this level here, maybe another couple hundred points lower. But again, I don't see a big sell-off on the horizon, and we may actually sell off a little bit and come back up, because if you remember the way last week went, we pulled back further on Thursday and then had a strong day Friday. So maybe we're setting up for something like that for the rest of the week, last 2 days of the week. Again, IWM, same sort of story here, and sell-off was on lower volume. RSI again got a little overbought, so pulling back here. The Qs, again, the Qs are really struggling here. They're struggling to get back up to this high that we had back in September, and volume's been pretty light here. Stochastics seem to be rolling over. MACD maybe, RSI might be heading lower. So again, the Qs seem to be challenged to go higher. SPY again, after making all-time high, we're pulling back. Again, we're probably going to come down into this range here where there's been some resistance here, prior resistance now becoming support. Again, support here, sort of this 35-40 level. So, maybe another 30 or 40 points down, and then, or maybe we fill the gap again. But I think once we hit there, buyers will step in, unless we get some seriously bad news. Dollar, again, the dollar looked like it was gaining, sold off, but again, found some support right here. And now we look like we're going to bounce again. So I would be looking for the dollar to bounce back up. That's not necessarily good for gold, which performed absolutely terribly today. Talk about that in a minute. And the VIX kind of popped up here as we sold off today, so not really that surprising. And again, we'll probably have another, maybe an update tomorrow like this, and then we'll see what happens from there. But again, really oversold on the stochastics. RSI 10 looking like it's turning up a little bit here, so expect a little more volatility in the next day or two. So let's look at a few of the actives here. DBA I haven't talked much about, but I got this way back when we were under around 14, I believe, and actually I haven't really I've just tucked it away. It's still doing well here. Let's move on. GDX. I did have a little bit of gold and silver in my account. I sold it yesterday, the close, just because of the price action here. It just looked horrible, and it was getting down to a point where I wanted to stop out, which is where here. And yeah, we just had a horrible day today for the miners, and I actually did a bit of a day trade. Took this short and sold out of it at the end of the day because I thought we are getting down to this 200 day, so we may have some further downside, but maybe an area here where we're going to bounce. Again, the dollar strengthening didn't help. This is actually the Canadian one that I've been trading in and out of. I did actually HGD, which is the bear, not the bull. LAC, we had a nice pop back up here. Sold some at some resistance. Now it's pulling back again. If it drops any lower, I'm going to get out of it. I was thinking about getting out of it today, but it seemed to hold this average, so just holding on. Again, got out of this one. Looks like we're probably heading back down here. I'll set an alert around 30 and maybe get back into PAAS. This one had a nice run, got into it, 370. Got up here. This is an area where I expected to see some resistance where this tail was on this wick. Did sell a little bit of it, and then it just pulled back here. I was again contemplating getting out of it today, but it's had 2 inside days, so I'm just going to hold the remainder and just see what happens tomorrow. And Rocket had a nice move up. Did sell a little bit as it peaked up to 23. Now it's pulled back to pretty much where my entry is. So again, we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow. If the yields start to go up or down more, then I think this will probably fade again, and I'll just have to get out of the rest of it. It's not looking very good. RSI is turning over. Stochastics are heading lower, so hopefully we'll get a bit of a bounce on that tomorrow. It's just a little bit more of a difficult environment to swing trade in right now with, one day, vaccine news comes out and the markets pop up, and then next thing you know, there's some school closures or whatever, and the markets drop. So we're just getting into some real choppy action, and it's kind of to be expected too, because we're pretty much at all-time highs with most of the indexes, all except for the Qs, of course. But yeah, and now we're just trying to break out, and then we pull back and try to break out, as you see here with some of the price action on these charts. So just looking at some of the sectors, and you can see here everything pretty much had a bad day, some worse than others. Technology pretty much went out lows of the day on discretionaries. The SPY, low of the day. Energy, after having this monster run, pulling back today. So I'm expecting another pullback today, maybe filling this gap. And yeah, I don't see a big crash here, but I see another bit of a pullback maybe tomorrow, and maybe a rebound Friday. So staples, again, really bad day. Healthcare took it on the chin today. Utilities, yeah, pretty much in every sector there was selling. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Should be interesting. All right, everyone. So that's it. Just stay nimble. We gotta keep riding things out here, and yeah, I'll look for some more volatility, maybe more downside tomorrow. but not a lot of downside. I wouldn't be looking for a big flush. Probably just going to end up being choppy. So this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you haven't checked it out, it's there. And yeah, so we'll hopefully see you in the Bear Bull Trading Room, 8:30 pre-market show, and then 9:30 trade in the market. So hope to see you all there. Bye for now.